Welcome once again to our presentation on Siem Reap real estate market. Today I'm very happy to be back in Siem Reap. It's always great to be here. And this is the second time that we host a presentation at Rosa Parks Square, particularly at this amazing auditorium that we are sitting in right now. First off, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Kin Kesa Kim. I am the Managing Director of CBRE Cambodia. So for those of you who are new to CBRE, we are a real estate service provider firm. We have a presence in over 100 countries around the world. In Cambodia, specifically, we started operation in 1993 and opened our first office in 2008. So over the last 17 years or so of the official operation of CBRE, we have helped a lot of developers, investors, homeowners, and tenants to realize their projects, find the space that suit them, and allow for their business and family to grow. So we're very proud of the work that we do over there. We are also the most active publisher of real estate market insight information in Cambodia market, particularly around the quarterly market update that we do every quarter. Because we believe that data and information is very important for decision making and for sustainable growth of real estate market in Cambodia. And today's event in Siem Reap is part of our ongoing effort to bring that data transparency and sharing the insight to everyone. So I hope that you enjoy the information that we present today, and I look forward to discuss further with you. And I'd like to take this opportunity also to thank you, Bong Thi and Urban Living Solution team, especially Rosa Parks Square team, for supporting us in coordinating and arranging today's event. And I thank you for all of you to be here. I've been looking through our registration list and seeing that we have a great audience today, a mixture of hospitality, people, banking sectors, and a lot of real estate developer and investor as well in the room. So it's a great mix of audience that we have, and I'm very pleased to see. So without any further ado, I'd like to kickstart with the agenda for today's event. So for the next hour, you will be hearing our presentation about, first of all, myself will present on economic overview for Cambodia market as a whole. Secondly, tourism market, and follow will be my colleagues Kim Sia Chia, who will present on Siem Reap market landscape and the opportunity that CBRE particularly believe in potentials of Siem Reap. Last but not least, and probably the most look forward to session for today's event is the panel discussion. So I will be the moderator for this session, and joining me will be my colleagues Kim Si again. And we have two additional special guests who are practitioners and experts in not only real estate sector, but also particularly practicing here in Siem Reap to join us. So I will introduce them in the following session. Okay, so to begin, I'd like to start with the economic overview for Cambodia market. We'd like to start off our presentation generally to look at overall some macroeconomic indicator. To begin with, the GDP growth forecast for Cambodia in 2025 is expected to be 4%. Actually, this is a slightly downward adjustment from IMF compared to earlier the year, and compared to the 5.8% rate that we achieved in 2024. So that's not so good news. But the good news is that there's also a more positive forecast for 2026 to be at 4.5% for overall Cambodian economic. In terms of investment, we have received up to 3 billion in the first 5 months of 2025, particularly in the construction sector. We will talk more about the profile of this investment in a later slide. And on the tourism sector, we have seen Cambodia receive 3.3 million tourist arrival, international tourist arrival, countrywide for the first 6 months of 2025. And for Siem Reap, if you look below, 2.8 million is the number of both domestic and international tourist arrival to Siem Reap particularly. We also see a growing rate of tourists coming to visit Angkor Wat, with the number of both value and volume of ticket sales at Angkor Wat to have increased compared to last year. Now, bear in mind, this is the first 6-month data of 25, so we may haven't accounted for some of the fallouts or impacts from the ongoing dispute that we are seeing at Cambodia-Thailand border yet, but we'll talk about that in a minute. We also like to recap some of the key events that happened in the first 8 months of 2025. There are actually many titles that we try to include here. All of them are carefully selected and hopefully to give you a good picture, good understanding, not only on the positive side, but also on the not so positive side of what's happening in Cambodia and around Cambodia. So I'm not going to go into detail in all of the titles, but there are two big elephants in the room that I like to address. And it is probably the two big topics that have been discussed a lot in Cambodia around these last 8 months. Number one is the reciprocal tariff rates imposed by President Trump administration. So I'm sure all of us are aware of these headwinds happening in April. And it's actually very significant for Cambodia, especially we're still in this early stage of industrial development in our country. So the story you all are familiar with, we had a first round, new tariff introduction back in April, where Cambodia received a 49% tariffs imposed by the US administration. And the latest news up until 1st August, the last rate that we received from US administration is 19%. Well, I think most of us can agree that it's a good news, not because 19% is higher than 0% previously, but it's lower than 49%. And if you look across the board, regionally speaking, when we talk about competitor countries in terms of investment and manufacturing, look at Vietnam, look at Thailand, Bangladesh, and some other Southeast Asian country, we can say that it's on a similar path. So it's probably a different story if, worldwide, there's only Cambodia got 19%. Definitely it's not a good story for us. But comparing right now, for most of the countries on the globe that receive this reciprocal tariff rate, 19% is somehow bearable for Cambodia. However, from our recent talk with manufacturers and the industrial leaders, they are happy with the 19%. They are also expecting to see more government initiative and support for the manufacturing sector, especially the garment, footwear, and travel goods product that is one of the key export that we have in Cambodia. Hoping the government to ease other type of costs, for example, electricity, logistic costs, so that to offset on the increase of costs for, or export costs for them. So that's what we are observing to see closely for the remaining time of the year. Hopefully that the government will issue more measures to support the export industry. Now that's a long story, but that's just the first elephant in the room. And the second elephant that we are looking at today haven't yet been resolved is the Cambodia-Thailand border tension that we're still facing today. And I know that I speak for all of us here, that I feel very lucky to be able to host this event, to be sitting here safely. And we feel very sad and unfortunate for all the people who live along the Cambodia and Thai border on both Cambodia and Thai territory. There are a lot of life loss. There are a lot of home being destroyed. Children couldn't go to school, and their economic impacts are wide, not only for currently, but there is also consequence coming in the coming months and year that we don't know of. So the impact, mentally, physically, and economically. So I think no one is happy or expecting this dispute to carry on, But we can only hope that the dispute will subside as soon as possible, because the longer it prolong, the more loss and more effect will affect the civilian and general citizen of both countries. Not only the people who live along the border, but also all of us feel that our daily life have been somehow impacted, whether from the product that you need, from the business, the relationship that you have with your business, Thai business counterpart, and so on. So everyone is affected by this crisis, and we hope that it will subside soon. So that's the two big elephant, not very positive news. But on the positive side, we're also expecting to see the opening of the new international airport, Phnom Penh International Airport, located in Tak Mau. This has been a very look forward to piece of infrastructure, a mega infrastructure projects that Cambodia have been looking forward to, and it will be open on the 9th of September. This is a very significant infrastructure, not only for having a modern infrastructure, but it's also expecting to ease the transportation and travels of both tourists and business traveler, also the cargo import and export as well. So that's with that, I'd like to conclude this slide, but we'll talk more about the economic development in other area. So let's have a quick look at the financial sector. Now I feel very self-conscious because we are sitting in, probably 40% of our audience are banking sector, from banking sector. So I'm trying to, claim I'm not the expert in financial sector. I'm just looking at this from the lens that are related to real estate. But there are some positive, some negative persistent trends. The first graph that you're looking at is the credit growth into real estate and construction and other sector, but we want to give a highlight on real estate and mortgage. As you can see, the purple line and the orange line here represent the activity or lending activity into construction and real estate. And since 2019 onward, this trend has been on downward trend, and with only some rebound, just slight rebound only in 2024. While manufacturing, which is the green light here, have been showing a downward trend. I think it's safe to say that while we haven't seen a lot of local financing activity going into manufacturing, we still see a lot of manufacturing establishment starting. And we have other data, although we cannot present it today. We've seen that most of the fund and financing for this development actually from offshore, so international fund coming right away into the manufacturing sector. So that's a very interesting trend to still observe. And on the other right-hand side of yourself, the graph here represents the deposit or the bank reserve that are currently still available in Cambodia. So the good news and bad news together is that we still see a high rate of deposit growth in the last 3 years, so averaging in between 30%. That's a lot. That's a lot of growth in saving. So the good news is that, the bad news is that there are less cash available in the economy because people are more reserved, are more risk averse, and they worry about the future, so they keep more cash in the bank. So it's not good for real estate. It's not so good for other manufacturing industry. But the good news is that these cash are still within the country. So we'll be looking at a different scenario. Say, for example, there is no cash reserve in the bank. That will be worry because slow market activity, no cash in the bank, that's a big issue for the whole country. But in this case, it's safe to understand that the investor or business people in Cambodia, or even families, investor, are still observing the opportunity or the right time to buy or to expand their business activity with the cash that they have in the bank. And following this year, as we can see that interest rate is on the downward trend for deposit for both US dollar and Khmer Rial. We can see that this year and next year continue to decline. Probably we can see some more activity going into more funding going into business activity, whether it's manufacturing, hospitality, or expanding family home and so on, then we will see more cash circulating in the economy. But there would need to be some factors that involve, for example, right price point, confidence in the market, and as we discussed in the earlier section, a lot of factors are still moving, like for example, the US tariff discussion. While it's at a one stage settled, there's some clarity, but there's still also some unpredictability to be observed as well, because as you know, Trump administration is always known for unpredictability, so you just expect the unexpected. And there may be other changes throughout his administration in the next 3.5 years. All right, let's take a look at another key sector for Cambodia, which is investment activity. So this slide presents the new projects that obtain QIP, or Qualified Investment Project, from CDC. I'm very pleased to share that we see up to 373 projects got approved, equivalent to 5.8 billion just in the first 6 months of 2025. And it's very encouraging. And if we look further into the breakdown of where this fund or where these projects are active in, a big majority of it, probably 70-75%, goes into industrial, which is very positive because industrial sector is the sector that Cambodia is looking to develop most, and it has a long-term benefit for the development of the economy, both employment opportunity, growing manufacturing, export, and so on. And the next sector is infrastructure, which is again very important for Cambodia as a developing country to improve the accessibility, to lower the cost of logistic and travel, to support not only manufacturing but also tourism and livelihood of the people. So these two represent almost 95% of the new investment coming into Cambodia, which is very encouraging. Now, area that we haven't seen picked up most is agro-industry and tourism. I mean, tourism, we can understand why, there's slow growth, but in agro-industrial and agriculture is probably another untapped investment sector that we hope to see more in Cambodia. Maybe some of you are considering, because Cambodia is an agriculture country, right? We produce a lot of rice, a lot of cashew nut, rubber, cassava, and so on. But there's limited facility for processing, for even storage, and the logistic cost is still high. That is why we're seeing that most of agricultural export going out of the country as a raw materials, raw products. So hopefully we'll see more investment coming into the sector as well, so we can export a higher value-added product from Cambodia. Very quickly on the source of investment, Chinese investors still leading in the source of fund into Cambodia, but we also see over the years a growing rate of Cambodian investor looking into developing more of this project as well. And just for the conversation that I have with the local companies, at least in the last 8 years, we have seen more developer looking into investing into, say, industrial park, special economic zone, their own factory for manufacturing and so on. So that's a very encouraging trend to see because we're seeing more local investor as well. Last slide for this section is on construction activity. We have seen throughout the year, as you can see, from 2019 to 21, there has been a downward adjustment for overall activity or investment into construction. And we're starting to see picked up again from 23 and 24 onward and continue into 25 as well. For the first half of 25, we're starting to see that the first 2 quarters already surpassed the level that we saw in 2024. So hopefully by the end of the year, we'll see a positive growth. In terms of construction activity, still very dominant in residential sector, which is flat house and Waray, up to 37%. And then again, industry or manufacturing, which is consistent to the new project approved that we saw in the earlier slide. And then other sectors are following. So why we're showing you this data and the previous data, I think it's very important for if you are practicing in real estate. Real estate is a downstream sector. Any development that we see in real estate, whether going down or going up, is always a result of the overall economic activity, the upstream sector, what we call them. So this can be, tourism, manufacturing, um, service industry like banking and so on. So as long as these other sector grow, we will see real estate activity grow as well. The growth of real estate sector without the growth of the earlier sector would not be sustainable because it's only speculations and bubble. And that's why I said we have to look at closely what other sectors are doing because those are the actual demand. So once the manufacturing grows, the need for land for industrial, the need for factories, space or warehouse. When there's growth of employment, incomes and consumption grow, there will be the need for housing, for example. So all of these sectors should be tying together. Real estate is not a standalone sector. It has to be following other economics. Okay, so with that, I conclude the first session and moving on to the second session on tourism. Okay, we like to look at the average length of stay of tourists spending time in Cambodia. So this is a very long-term trend, if you can see from 1995 to 2024. The trend has been consistent. Mostly it's under 8 days on average that tourists spend per visit to Cambodia. There's only some strange spike in 2020 and 2020 until 22. And we all know the reason for this. It feels like a long time ago. I don't know if you still remember, but we used to have quarantine rules that anyone arrived in the country will have to quarantine for 2 weeks, and later 10 days, later 7 days. So that's what kept the stays pretty long, up to 30 days. It's a very weird spike, but we are coming back to the natural average at 7 to 8 days on average for tourists in Cambodia around 2024. And if you compare this with regional, let's say the two neighboring countries, Vietnam and Thailand, average spending time of tourists is around 10 to 12 days per visit. So what we want to draw your attention to is that there's a need for activity for people to do, to spend more time in Cambodia, whether it's business activity or tourism activity, which again, my colleagues will shed more lights in the coming section. When we talk about tourism, we cannot forget to talk about accessibility, because accessibility is what allows people to connect to arrive at the destination. So this is the data that we look at the tourist arrival to Siem Reap International Airport, SIA. Between 2024, 23 and 24, as you can see, the source of arrival is relatively mixed, but we still need, to grow more diversification of the tourist base. And the purpose of arrival is mainly for holiday and small business section only. And you can understand that the tourism purpose travelers are very fragile to external shock, fragile to news. If they've been reading, news about, for example, tariff, they're concerned about their future economic performance, so they probably won't spend too much. If they read the news about, Cambodia, Thailand border tension, they get scared. They probably don't consider coming to Cambodia, Thailand for their next holiday. Some even got canceled. We have talked to some of the booking operator here in Cambodia. They have seen some cancellation of corporate activity and tourist activity for the next high season, which is Christmas time. So that's not great news for both countries, actually. And we also like to look at, the flight available, again, accessibility, how people come to Siem Reap or connect to Siem Reap. We currently have around 11 operating airlines that connect directly to Siem Reap. We are looking at estimates or forecasted 16,000 flights per year for 2025 as a whole. And this number is still relatively small because we look at passenger that are travel by flight is only 650,000. For context speaking, we're talking about around 60,000 for Chiang Mai, and probably about 80,000 for Da Nang, which is a comparable tourism city. So the gap of growth or the opportunity for growth is still very much wide for Siem Reap to tap into. We now have a very nice airport, very capable airport. We can accommodate much more passenger. So now it's coming back to how do we drive more traffic into Siem Reap. And there's also another piece of infrastructure that we are expecting to see very sought after as well is the Phnom Penh Siem Reap Expressway, which is still in a process of concluding feasibility study and starting construction. While there's still a lot of work to do on this another mega infrastructure, I want to point out that currently we're looking at around 3 million people traveling both internationally and domestically to Siem Reap. And the opportunity for this is much more. Because if we look at the case of the first expressway that we have in Cambodia, Phnom Penh to Sihanoukville, just for the first 2 years of operation, they receive up to 10 million vehicles. So let's say on average there are 2 people in each vehicle. It's about 20 million people in 2 years, 10 million per year. That's actually a lot of traveling. And Siem Reap, I think a lot of people like me love coming to Siem Reap, but I can only come maybe several times a year, sometimes because of work, sometimes because I want to come for holiday. But the travel time actually reduced the time that I spend in Siem Reap. So I need to travel, right now about 6 to 7 hours on a normal car. But with the expressway, let's say even if we cut down this by 50% to 2 to 3 hours, it's still much improvement compared to the current situation that we have. So this piece of infrastructure is very important, and hopefully that we can get it pushed and completed soon. So with that, I'd like to conclude my presentation for this morning, and I'd like to invite my colleague, Mr. Kim Sia Chia, who is our head of research and consulting. His team helped to put together this slide today. So Kim Sia, welcome you to the stage.
Thank you, Kesa. First, I would like to properly introduce myself. My name is Kim Sia Chia, and I am the head of research and consulting department. I do have experience in real estate sector for over 8 years, and I've been working at CBE for approximately 7 years now. Before going and moving forward into our presentation, I also want to introduce the service that we provide in real estate research and consulting. So our job is to analyze the market, understand the market, produce a proper report, and this report may be just a report to everyone after reading, but for developers, investors, it's really important for them to understand the market before they can navigate into what kind of development or how much capital that they inject into their development. So this is just a quick recap. If you need further explanation on our service, please reach out to me. Let's move on to the overview of our market sector landscape in Siem Reap. Siem Reap at a glance. So these are just some big numbers that we have been collecting in the past couple of months. 1,000 temples. This is a lot of temples. We can consider this number of temples as a pre-existing tourist attraction, as we can all understand that Siem Reap is such a unique tourist destination. Siem Reap has already have the temples that is the main attraction for the tourist arrivals to Siem Reap. Of course, we have a lot of other amenities such as The hospitality, 587 under operations here in Siem Reap. This is a large number. If you compare the number into Phnom Penh with a population of over 2 million, in Phnom Penh, there's only 300 hotels under operation. So this number is almost double the operating hotels in Phnom Penh. On the real estate and commercial side, we do not see much of a growth. We see some activities. We are standing in one of the most prestige real estate development, a mixed-use development. It's Rose Apple Square. I would say this is a first step into growth in the construction sector here in Siem Reap. Despite the height restriction issues, I believe that there's still opportunities for this sector to grow. For the commercial, of course, office and modern retail do not have much to offer. 7 office here, what we've seen is that most of the offices that's under operation right now is a co-working space. It is not a full-fledged office in comparison to what is currently offered in Phnom Penh. One international airport, this is a really great new addition to Siem Reap. This is a enable for a much better travel and transportation experience for tourists to arrive to Siem Reap. 1 million population, this is a large number in Siem Reap as a secondary city compared to Phnom Penh. Phnom Penh is around 2.5 million. And this is almost half of the population in Phnom Penh. So there's consumption, there's urbanization here, there's of course opportunity. 70 clinics on the hospitality side, on the hospital side is 18 hospital and 11 international school. I will go into detail on this important and why this is necessary to raise up. The elephant in the room, I think Kesa has already mentioned some of the border tension that what is the expected outcome and the impact to the tourism. So the chart here is showing the anchor ticket sales comparable to 2023, 2024, and the projection of 2025 as well. So the main question within this slide is that how impacted we are expecting for anchor ticket sale. Now, I would answer this into 2 scenarios. So one is who are purchasing the tickets? What nationality is purchasing the ticket? If we look into a higher level, a number of tourist arrival by nationality to the whole Cambodia, Thailand is number 1. Thailand is number 1 at over 30%. And Vietnam is the second tourist arrival, followed by the third place is Chinese. However, if we look into the tickets sold by nationality, this number is not available. However, if we expect that, this is from what I understand and from my connections within the tour guide associate, is that most of the tickets that's been purchased is from Europe side of the nationality. So if that's the case, the impact is not expected to be aggressive, and I would expect the impact for the next 6 months to be very moderate. Other part that also might impact is the something that Kesa also mentioned is the international press. Now the border tension is not resolved yet, so it is quite hard for us to change the perspective of those who are expecting to come to Cambodia after reading all the negative news. So that would be another factor that will impact the performance in terms of anchor ticket sale. This is just a quick overview of the urbanization in Siem Reap and how fast the city has grown. In 2005, we see the area that we highlight here is basically just an area that we see the most households being built. In 2005, we only see around 780,000 population in total, and only 160,000 households. Up to 2015, the number has grown, the population expanded. Moving forward to 2025, the population is already at over 1 million. In compared to Chiang Mai, Chiang Mai is estimated at 1.2 million population, so very comparable to Chiang Mai. And the same when you reflect the number of population to Phnom Penh, it's almost half of population in Phnom Penh. So this is a signal showing that there's our consumption, the economy is growing, and what the developer and those who are living here in Siem Reap can cater or introduce something that cater the existing demand is really important. On the amenity side, co-working space is 7 projects. Commercial side is not very active at this moment. However, we've seen quite a number on the healthcare system. We see 70 projects in clinics, 18 projects in hospitality. Why is this important? Because if we look at our neighboring country, Thailand, for example, the government initiate what's so-called tourist healthcare tourism since 2003. So why would the government look into healthcare tourism so early on in the development? Because I believe that Thailand sees the potential to be the leading healthcare system provider in Southeast Asia. When healthcare system is well established in the market, it shows the strength and confidence for tourism, tourist arrival, especially for those who want to move to the city. They feel more secure that they have a really good and international standard healthcare system to use. On the private school, there's a lot of numbers in private school and public school as well. On the hotel side, very much dense within the city center, 587 projects, and 5-star hotel is almost 100 5-star hotel under operation. And this 5-star hotel we extracted from the online source, and we also screen one by one whether or not this is actually 5-star hotel. It is hard to pinpoint whether this is 5-star hotel because currently in Cambodia, we don't have, from the government side, we do not have a regulation on the classification on how to identify 5-star hotel. So this is using our judgment, our market knowledge to identify whether or not this should be fitting within 5-star hotel. In comparison to Phnom Penh has only less than 20 5-star hotel. So it is not surprising, but the number is quite high in terms of whether or not Siem Reap is actually a tourist city. I think 5-star hotel number is still quite high compared to other regions. 100 temples. This is basically just the most visited temple in Siem Reap. And why am I showing this slide? Is that one key takeaway that I can say is that sometimes when we feel like the city already has the tourist attraction site, we tend to get comfortable. And when we get comfortable, it's impacted the expanded and exploration into some other developments that improve on top of what we already have. Now, if you look back in the development in Siem Reap, we are solely relied on the temples to attract tourists. However, of course, there's also opportunity to improve that. Length of stay, for example, for the last decade, the length of stay in Siem Reap is approximately 2.5 to 3 days. So this is the number that we should look into, and what are the ideas and developments that can help extend that. Why do you want to extend that? Because now I see a problem within the system of anchor ticket sale. We have a package for 1 day that is at around $32. And then we have a package for 3 days at around $60+. And of course, we have a 7 days package as well. However, I'm pretty sure that most of the purchase, those who are looking into visiting the temple, will pick the first option and the second option. Now, this will, of course, give the revenue more to Angkor Enterprise, but the smaller and the lower length of stay will impact the businesses here in Siem Reap. The more, the longer they stay, the more money is being pushed out into the economy, especially specifically in Siem Reap. So this is something that the developer, and I'm hoping that the developer will start looking into and introducing some more activity to help boost and extend the average length of stay here in Siem Reap. This is also another opportunity. Land price here in Siem Reap is relatively low compared to Phnom Penh. I can give you an average estimated quoting price in Phnom Penh. In the prime area, it could go up to $6,000 to $8,000 per square meter. Why the number is lower here in Siem Reap is posed into the a more flexibility in the development. One key point that I want to point out is that on the financial side is the IRR, internal rate of return. For the investor and developers, they will look into this number to understand whether or not this development is profitable or not. Now, I do a mock feasibility study for a development within the current price, land price, and also the construction. And I see that the IRR here in Siem Reap is much higher, double or triple the percentage in Phnom Penh. So this is an opportunity for developer to look into exploring the development market here in Siem Reap as well. So the recap here from what I've just mentioned is that I think on the developer side, you should start, I understand that Siem Reap might be not very attractive in the construction side of the development. However, let's use Rose Apple Square as an example. Sometimes the market seems like it is not fitting for this kind of development, but if you are planning, have a good plan, a good vision, and what if you want to do and what you want to offer into the market, I think it will be a good addition to this sector. Because from the consumption side, sometimes we have no idea what we want until we've seen it, until we experience it. For example, QR code. We were using cash all our life, and then there's a QR code coming out, and now everyone is using QR code. So this is something I would call market changing introduction of products. So this is something that developer can also utilize here in Siem Reap. Let's move on to the opportunity. This is some of our ideas from CBA Cambodia. It could be wrong. It could be something that is contrast from what you're thinking, but senior living opportunity in Siem Reap. Now, there are some advertisement, especially in Europe, in England. We have seen some advertisement that, okay, Siem Reap is such a good location for your retirement because it is a safe place to come and live. However, the barrier here is that we are still lacking in terms of the offer on the accommodations. And one of the most important factors is the healthcare. Now, seniority, people who are seeking to retire here in Cambodia, they need a reliable healthcare system. As despite 11 international hospitals here in Siem Reap, I think I believe that there are some still limitation in those healthcare system that's being offered. And this is a long and painful progress. It takes Thailand decades to improve their healthcare. Now, I think this is also pose an opportunity for developers who are interested in healthcare development to tap into as well and improve the livelihood here in Siem Reap. Weekend escape, second home. It's interesting because Siem Reap is such a nice location for a short vacation. But of course, the limitation is just like Kessa has mentioned, is that the travel time currently is quite long. So for those who are living in Phnom Penh and want to come and visit over the weekend, it's still there's some still limitation on the time spent on the travel and also the time spent here in Siem Reap. So we've seen a lot of development, so-called holiday home, but mostly toward the coastal area, because of course the travel time is much shorter compared to Siem Reap. So after the expressway has been constructed, I believe that this market will be growing along with the number of tourists, especially domestic tourists coming from Phnom Penh to Siem Reap. Supplementary tourist development. So this is a much broader ideas and on the opportunity is that let's take Angkor Wat for example. Angkor Wat is currently operating during daytime, and then after the sunset, everything went quiet. The area went quiet. There's no activity around the temple whatsoever. But for us, I believe that this is a missed opportunity because as a tourist destination, a tourist city, it should have been more activity during nighttime. For example, as you can see, the temple looks amazing during nighttime. Why have not the government pushed into more activities around the temple, such as food area, cultural activity, and so on? There's a Angkor-like show. Sport activity as well that can drive more activity around the temple. And this is also an excuse for tourists to stay longer because there's more activity for them to do. Repositioning hotel and apartment. This is just some ideas that we throw out there. I believe that despite the over 500 hotels under operation right now, I believe that not all of them are fully occupied or have a high occupancy rate. Now, the idea is that there are options for the landlord to migrate and think of a better ideas to attract tourists or occupants, such as converting into co-living space. Co-living space is very new to the market. I know this market is not easy to tap into, but Rose Apple Square has introduced this in Siem Reap and also the first co-living project in Cambodia. And I hope that this sector and also the alternative sector outside of what we've seen, the core development here in Cambodia, to start growing. This is where we can expand our offering to the tourists and those who travel here. MICE, Meeting Incentive Conference Exhibition. This is something that most developers overlooked. And I think this sector is really important to introduce, especially for business travelers, to experience our offering here in Cambodia. So tapping into this sector will also get our names more out into the international perspective of Cambodia as a whole or Siem Reap as a whole. Affordable home, we've been saying about affordable home for quite some time now. I think that within the current land price that's offering here in Siem Reap, I think affordable home is still feasible. Not as close to the city center, but outside of the city center, it's still very feasible. I think there's a market within the affordability, especially in Phnom Penh, what we've seen in the past years, there's a lot of market shift from high-end to affordable and mid-range. And those products within affordable and mid-range is still being sold in the market in Phnom Penh. And this can also apply to Siem Reap as well. Government support and local businesses. Now, From the developer and businesses side, I think they can initiate and have the ideas, but for that to come into life, the government have to step into and support their ideas as well, because this is not a one hand clap. We need both sides to work together to improve this sector and improve the business confidence for business owner here in Siem Reap as well. I think I would like to conclude my slide presentation here, and I hope that it is useful for everyone here in the room. This is my team. My name is Kim Sia and Kesa. If you have any more questions, please contact us. We have a contact information on the screen. We are more than happy to help answer questions or any inquiry that you have. Thank you so much, and I would like to ask Kesa to come on the stage.
Thank you, Kim Sia. Thank you very much, our audience today. So I'd like to once again thank my team, the research and consulting team who have been putting this great deck together, and I hope you find it useful. And also to the extended brokerage and valuations and property management team of CBRE as well, because a lot of ideas and concepts that have been shown here have been consolidated or combined thought process that we have usually reflect together as a team. So moving on to the next agenda, as you can already see, our team is helping to set up the chair for a panel discussion. But if I have a minute before the panel discussion and giving the team time to the team, is I'd like to ask you to bring out your phone and scan the QR code on the slides to, let us know your ideas or thought about this event. This is the second time we are here in Siem Reap doing this kind of presentation, and we feel that Siem Reap market is very underserved in terms of data and insights and presentation. So we want to do it again regularly, and we want to do better next time. So let us know what you want to hear. Any idea, any topic that you want us to cover, I will be happy to look into and do our best to share the insight. If you have any issue with the internet connection, just in front of you, there's a QR code for website for internet connection as well. So feel free to use that. Okay, I'll give you some time to fill in the feedback form, but during this time, just also want to point out that if you are interested to see more of this kind of presentation, we also publish our slide presentation on our website. So you can scan the QR code around here for access to our website to find more publication. And if you want to find out, about property available that we are being marketing or the project that we are collaborating with, for example, Rosa Post Square here, you can also find those information on our website as well. Talking about Rosa Post Square, there's a great opportunity today because after this presentation is concluded, we will have a project tour. So for those of you who are first time at Rosa Post Square or who would want to see more part of this amazing mixed-use projects, there are Urban Living Solution team who wear black t-shirt with the ULS logo on their chest here, will be assisting you to take the tour, and as well as the CBRE team who wear the green lanyard will be assisting you to take a tour and have a look of Rosa Post Square. This is amazing projects, and I'm saying this not only for Siem Reap comparison, but also across the country. We haven't, even in Siem Reap, even in Phnom Penh, very few great quality and amenity that we're seeing today. The auditorium that we're sitting in, the commercial space, the residential space, the co-living space, all are amazing. So I urge and really encourage you to have a quick look and the detailed tour of the project as well. So the chair is set. So without any further ado, I would like to welcome you to the next exciting session. And I would like to invite our panelists to the stage. You already see me, know me. My name is Kesa again. I will be the moderator for this session. And first, I would like to invite Mr. T. Jia, who is the head of sales of ULS. Mr. T have over 20 years of experience. A round of applause, please. Yes. Mr. G has over 20 years of real estate experience, especially in sales. A lot of time he spent was in Australia, but he also returned to Cambodia recently and helped drive, amazing collaboration between agents locally and internationally with ULS projects. Second, I'd like to invite Mr. Mario Tan. Mr. Mario has more than 10 years of experience in business across real estate, constructions, and now also venturing into manufacturing. Mario is Siem Reap based. He's born and raised and spent 100% of his time in Siem Reap. So we have a local insight here and a great expert. And then last but not least, my wonderful colleague, Mr. Kim Sia. Welcome you to the stage. Thank you. May I have one more round of applause, please? Thank you so much. So it has been a pretty long presentation, but I hope that you find it useful. We're a bit over time in terms of the time allocation for our presentation, but again, I would rather run a bit over time and the audience have all the great information that we have prepared. And this session is meant to be an engaging session. We will welcome your question from the audience. We have 2 microphones, left and right. So if you have any question, you can raise. But to give you some time to think about your question, I'd like to start off with 1 or 2 questions that I prepared, and just to get the discussion started first. So my first question is, I'd like to understand about our panelists' opinion on the Siem Reap condition currently. Now, Kim Sia, you've been talking a lot, so I think it's best to give time to Mr. T and Mr. Mario to share his thought also. So maybe start with Wong T first. If you can share what you think, what is the current situation on condition in terms of the overall economic and real estate development here in Siem Reap, please.
Sure, definitely, and thank you for the question. Before I answer the question itself, I just want to give a quick thank to the CBR team to host the event here. Our aim as a company is to make sure Siem Reap is not the poor relative or the poor cousin of Phnom Penh. Whatever Phnom Penh has access to in terms of information, events, buildings, development, Siem Reap deserve the same. In fact, even more so. So we're very 100% committed in Siem Reap. Now, to answer your question, look, it's no secret that Siem Reap is going through some challenges, especially the retail sector, hospitality sector. But from a developer perspective, and I can only answer from what we are going through and what we observe also, is that we feel that we're quite optimistic. The reason being is that if you look at some of the development or some of the better development in Siem Reap, most have been sold out. We are sold out. I think Angkor Grace is sold out. And a few landed property, private villas as well as are doing really well. So that could be a sign of undersupply, which we feel that Siem Reap is very much an untapped market and underserved market. So overall, from a real estate perspective, we feel that there is a lot of opportunity. So much so, we plan to do another development very soon within this year. It's something that perhaps I can leave that to a bit later.
Wow. So we've been knowing about this development for a while, but exciting to hear it's finally public now. We can talk about it and really look forward to see your second project in Siem Reap.
Yeah, but it's not to say, I think if you build the right product, if you look at where the market is being not met, even if you're a couple of years early, I think this is where the secret or the right way. This is our approach basically. For us, we are doing co-living, co-working space to serve the digital nomads. Although at the moment it's very tough, we know that in the next 12 months, next 24 months, we will be able to fill those spaces. So sometimes you have to take the initiative and do things first and be first mover. But this is where we see Siem Reap is heading in terms of the other tourism sector that is likely to come to Siem Reap market. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Kim Si also highlighted, sometime we don't know that we need this kind of supply until we have seen it, touch it, feel it, or use it. For example, this amazing facility that we currently have at Rosa Park Square here. If previously, if someone sit down and think maybe we don't need this or haven't thought about this, but once it taken shape and operating right now, it's been an amazing opportunity. Thank you, Monty. I'd like to hand over next to Mario. What you feel about Siem Reap as a Siem Reap-based business person here?
Well, thank you. Good morning, everyone. So overall, at the moment, during the time of 2024 and 2025, we've seen a very like a similar transaction overall about real estate. At the same time, we've been developing a lot in terms of the infrastructures and the new airport as well to add the values. As we know that the connectivity and the accessibility role as a very important part to access to be able to enable the connection between of the outside to the inbound. And about the transaction, we've seen that it more directed and very certain to a private land villas and some of the undersupplied properties, such as the strata properties on the international market. Although it's of course it's not really it's not back to where it was to the pre-pandemic, but we've been recovering significantly between of the 2024 to 2025, and the best part is that we've been developing and doing a lot of input along the way during the recovering. Also, very good a clear visuals for the investors into the promotional product, let's say like that, on the distressed properties that they can enter into the a good values investment on the like we've seen in tools classification of the property into the high-end market and also the bottom line market of the properties overall.
Great, thanks, Mario. I have a small follow-up question. You mentioned earlier on the distressed property, and I know you also run a real estate agency based here in Siem Reap. Just want to know from your experience, what kind of products or real estate property that you see getting the most interest currently, even despite the slowdown?
Well, we've seen more transaction into the private land villas, and of course, more referring to a second home projects more into that. If we identify into the market segments, let's say it goes into more onto it's linked to the riches of the potentials of Siem Reap. It's about the second home projects. It's about the retiring or staycation, of course. It's two into those class. All those they might be interested in the private villa, but a private villa has a lot of combination. Some of them it depends on the market addressing. However, it's about most likely it's about the second home or staycation classification products to fit into the market. So I believe Siem Reap is a combination of the to fit into their own web, their own natures. It's supposed to be about the sustainability development on the staycation, vacation, staycation, or the about the retirement, like we mentioned earlier on the seniority living. Yeah, I think it's the best combination of the Siem Reap.
Great to hear. Yeah, I think this is probably a new trend. If we look back in the past 10 years, the senior living is actually something just happened in the past 5 years or so. It was great to see this moving. Yes.
Can I just quickly add?
Sure, Bong, please.
I just want to quickly add, in terms of answering the question, like which sector has seen growth or potential. I think what we found success or the niche market for us that's doing really well is that we are capturing the long-term stay tourists who plan to stay for 3 months, 6 months, and they enjoy so much they extend their stay beyond that. Now, why we have found success in that market is because these are the type of people who would normally stay at hotel. But to stay at a hotel for 3 months, 6 months, for 12 months, that can get very expensive. So at the same time, they don't want to give up all the amenities, all the luxury, and so on. So the product that we offer provide all these things at a more cost-effective rate. So this is where we found a good following of people, a lot of Australian, a lot of Americans, a lot of Europeans. They come here, they plan to stay for 2 weeks. They end up staying for 3 months and 6 months. So this is the formula that's been successful for us in terms of providing accommodation, a service apartment, catering for the long-term tourists who enjoy being in Siem Reap. Yeah.
Great, yes, and again, this is perfect example of the first mover advantage because we haven't seen a lot of this kind of mixed-use development available in Siem Reap and Cambodia yet. So a great addition to what Siem Reap already have to offer. Okay, thank you, Bong, Thi, and Mario. So now to give the opportunity to the audience. If you have any question, please put up your hand. Feel free to ask in English or Khmer, and our team will bring the microphone to you. Any question? Gentleman in the back, in the front, sorry.
Hi, good morning. My name is Kelly Chandra. I'm from the Royal Angkor Resort, a local 5-star. I am a general manager. Okay, I have a question to the partners. Anyone can answer. I have seen recent groundbreaking of the Dreamville under National Home Organization from Vietnam, under the Korean-owned, 35-hectare mega project. It's like a residential lifestyle integrated project at the Bakong district. I believe you all know that. So what is your view? Why this kind of mega project start to develop in Siem Reap at Bakong district? So this is, is a positive sign, I understand, but in the long run, what is your view on this kind of mega development in Siem Reap? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dara, for a very good question. Very specific though. As he gave the context, there's a new project being starting in Bakong. I'll share my short observation because I've talked to the Korean developer before, and then I will pass on to the panelists to share there. So I think given the background of the developer, we've known that they have been quite successful on the development of affordable housing. They've had a lot of experience, especially in Vietnam. The projects that they built is targeting to local owner. Basically, is for the purchase price that is affordable for local, and also come with certain amenities and I think in cooperation of some short stay, like hotel facility as well. And I think it's a very interesting time to see a new development. But I don't think it's come by total surprise, because if you look at, I think it's safe to say that we are entering into a conclusion of one real estate cycle in Cambodia from 2008 and 2000, let's say 23, 24. The most successful development that we've seen mostly happening around this time is that the developer have find the right time to get into the market, whether in the form of land purchase or in the form of introducing a new product. Again, we're talking about first mover advantage and being the first few that introduce that kind of product. And I think looking from this experience is understandable why they choose this time to enter, because first of all, land price is relatively cheaper compared to the last 4 or 5 years. Construction costs, although overall have been increased from the last few years, but it's also a great opportunity to negotiate with your contractor on locking a good price as well. While the factor that you have to figure out is how to find the market or the buyer, which is in reverse, because we have two types of developer. One is build a product and then find the buyer, and other type is already assess the market, understand there's a buyer, and then they build the product toward those buyer. And I think in this case, it's safe to say that there is already demand for affordable housing here in Siem Reap. We have over 1 million population here, and increasing interest in second homestay, and a lot of immigration from other province, migration from other province, given the growth in tourism sector and service sector as well. So these are all the target market that can be targeted toward for the affordable housing segment. So I'd like to share the stage to other panelists if you want to take on this question and share your view. Mongti, you look like you have something to say.
Well, thank you for the question. Well, the project has been very well promoted. They've been doing the pre-advertisement, and we also connected with the project management. So so far, what the good attractive points of the project itself is about like during the periods of uncertainty of the economic and everything seems in recovering, and they build the confidence to the project of one of the massive project in real estate, which seems almost very challenging for everyone, and the developer themselves is one of the credited and we can say success from the other projects. So they help us into the real estate industry to address that even during periods we can contribute and we can start of something that very potentials in distributing and rebuild the trust back in returns. And the other positive point is that it's add the values into Siem Reap on the east side especially, which is we all know that it's going to develop and going to be the new development cities into the east side of Siem Reap, having attracting more the buyers, investors into that size, that zones, having overall about Siem Reap growing altogether, and to build trust in the real estate industries. And about the project themselves, I believe that they enter a very unique market segments, which is about the gap between of the residentials and like a mixed use. They have some mixed use activity as well. So I think it's about the right supply into demand as well. It's about the affordability, affordable housings, which is we talk a lot about it, but we don't really see much in the market, the proper one, the standard one, and there's still much potential demand into that market.
Great.
Just a quick answer, because I don't want to take up too much time. I think given that we are, I think word speaks louder, I mean, action speaks louder than words. So for us to launch a new project and for Autonomy and their partner to launch a new project, that's a lot of vote of confidence in Siem Reap moving forward. We often speak about Siem Reap as being the most livable city in the country. And you will see that more and more people from Phnom Penh, from other provinces, internationally, will want to live in Siem Reap. So this is just catering for future markets. So what we're doing, what they're doing, why we're doing it is because we see a lot of blue sky ahead, even though right now a lot of clouds, but over the horizon, we do definitely see there's a lot of blue sky ahead for Siem Reap, definitely. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Anything to add, Monsieur? Okay, next question, I'll find you. Okay, maybe our audience have any more question in the front, and then at the back, I see some hand raising as well.
My name is Saran from a real estate freelancer based in Siem Reap. I would like to ask Hunter Group Mario. I would like to make a question that you said just now, a potential of the residential second home, retired home, the most is good signs. But my question is, how big and how small of the investment, like how many case each of purchase residentials, private, or like second home in Siem Reap? Like how much? Thank you. Do you get my question?
Just want to recap and make sure I understand correctly. You'd like to know how many projects there are?
No. I mean, how big is the money that they buy the
Okay.
second home in Siem Reap?
What kind of budget
Yep.
considered as affordable?
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Thank you.
So specifically for...
Sorry for my bad English, but I have good
No, you have
teacher
great,
here.
great English.
Always
great
I
English.
ask him.
Thank you. So Mario, this specifically question is for you.
Thank you, Mr. Sarat. For the recent transaction that we seen on, surprisingly, there are more cases on residentials appealing into the more into the medium to the top range rather than the medium to low end. So if you would like to address on the range, it would be between of the more than 150,000 above to around 500,000 US dollars, because most likely like those private land villas, most likely the new build products that attract more transaction recently, like a private pool villa, some sort like that, and especially demanded from the Phnom Penh market, our locals. So during the times that we've seen that it seemed tough for everyone, it seems carrying recovering, but the private land villa appearing into a top end values, attracting the most buyers as the current transactions. No surprise, because Siem Reap is about again about staycation, about relaxing. So those people from Phnom Penh, from our locals, if they ever looking for the second homes, I believe that Siem Reap is one of the top shortlists to be looking around for. And yes, I hope this answered to your question.
Great, thank you, Mario. Monty, yes?
So we as a developer also looking at affordable housing as well, to give you a price. For us, affordable housing is around 500 to 700 per square meter. Where Rose Apple Square is at now is about 3,000 per square meter. So it's a very big difference. But we want to do affordable housing that's good quality, good layout, good amenities, good community space. But this can only work with the help of the government support policy, but also bank financing also. Affordability is not just about what the price of the condo or the house. It's also what is the payment? How can the bank support the payment? Because not everybody has $50,000 in their pocket or $60,000 in pocket, right? So the bank needs to play a part, the government needs to play a part as well. So for us, affordable housing is around 500 to 700 per square meter, and this is what we're also working on at the moment in Siem Reap. Yep.
Great, thank you, Bong T. Hello, small follow-up for Kim Si. I think it's also worth comparing Siem Reap market with Phnom Penh market. Now, Kim Sia's team have done a number of feasibility study for the affordable housing projects. There's probably some key finding or interesting trend that you want to share about, the overall trend. What can be considered as affordable price range for Cambodia countrywide, and what kind of payment that we have seen available for the buyers looking low-rise wise, mid-rise, or high-rise wise?
Thank you, Kasa. So I've been working in real estate and also running financial analysis on various of position in terms of development, from affordable to mid-end and to high-end. And from what we have seen, the price range is very comparable. Just Bong Tia just mentioned is around 50,000. This is a benchmark of average. Starting, it could go up to 60 and 70,000. That is on the lump sum price, but on the payment term, it is a bit tricky because it varies from developers to developers. Then it's also pose risk as well, because within the current market, especially in the affordability sector, the easier the payment term is, the better, and the faster you can sell. Some of the developer has been very aggressive, especially within the local developers. There are some condition with no down payment whatsoever, just monthly payment. After the 15 months of construction completed, you will be able to move in. And this seems attractive to most of the buyer who are looking to the affordability, but there are risks to both sides, the buyer and the seller, because when there are some issues in the market, we have never seen, we have walked through this market already. COVID-19, we never expected it, but it happened, and it disrupted a lot of markets, a financial market, construction market, tourism market. So this is very unseenable crisis. And when that happens, there's going to be a lot of issues, especially within the affordable payment term. So from my advice to the developers is that be mindful, do a lot of study on the financial projection and the cash flow, and see what is the risk, and be prepared for it. I would never recommend to go 100% installment just to improve the sales. Just trying to protect both sides. This is my piece of advice.
Basically, do some filtration of your buyer as well, some pre-assessment. Okay, thanks. We have discussed quite extensively on the residential segment, but I also like to point out, again, like we talk about, Siem Reap is so much more than tourism, residential, and also commercial. And we actually, over the last few years, also seen new kind of developments and activities, sports, event being held in Siem Reap as well. Now, I know that Urban Living Solution, US, is also a shareholder of a social business, social enterprise here in Siem Reap. I think it will be a great opportunity if Wongti can share a bit more about Artisan Encore, about what it is, what is the business model, and how you see Artisan support the development of Siem Reap.
Yes, thank you for the question. So, apart from property development, we are into other businesses as well, such as food and beverage, bookstore, Sachaya Bookstore, which is in Phnom Penh. Also, as Kim mentioned, Artisan Encore. The reason we got involved with Artisan Encore is because it's the same reason why we came to Siem Reap. We love Siem Reap, yep. And more importantly, culture is very important for us to preserve. And what is culture? Culture is reflected in the arts of maybe the Apsara dances, the sculptures, the woodwork, all these things that are, silk farm, wood carving. So for us, during COVID, we saw the effect that it caused to a lot of the businesses, especially artisan who could not find job because they could not sell their product. So we took over, we revamped the business. We actually spent close to $1 million to revitalize the workshop. So Artisan & Co is a social enterprise, meaning that there is the business component through us selling the souvenir, whether it's a scarf, whether it's wood carving, whether it's a stonework, whether it's painting. That's how we generate business. The enterprise part is that these artisans or these artists who have learned this skill through that has been passed on hundreds and hundreds of years are required to take kids from the province and train them and give them opportunity also. So that's our involvement with Artisan & Co. But at the same time, we also very much understand the importance to capture the tourism market, get them to spend more money. And the only way to get them to spend more money is get them to be more engaged. So that's why we redid the workshop, so that it became almost like a living museum that we take the customer through a very curated experience, take them through a journey. So once they've done that, they understand the art, the culture, the history, and they become so immersed in it. And they feel like, wow, this is amazing. And they see, at the end, they see the elephant, they see the scarf. They appreciate it a lot more, all the efforts, the history, the story that goes into it. So that's our involvement with Artisan Co. And we can't wait till the new airport open. We will have a very big flagship shop in Phnom Penh Airport. So that's very, very exciting. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's a great idea because I have purchased some of the Artisan Co scarf from Suchaya bookstore recently, and I see the quality is very good. And but the process of before the final product become available is also very interesting. And like you said, the experience seeing is understanding and knowing actually how this product come to life. So actually, there's also a tour available for both Artisan and the Silk Farm. Actually, our team at CBRE will also take a tour there tomorrow. Really look forward to that as well.
The tour is free, so if you're interested, please speak to our staff. We can organize a tour for the workshop as well as the Silk Farm.
Yeah, I think it's amazing because I think the tour alone is also very supportive if you like to find out more and understand about the processes. I'm pretty sure that the artisan, the artists who make the product would feel very appreciated by the interest of local and international tourists and citizens to find out about their work and understand about their work. Even you don't decide to buy or maybe purchase later as well. Okay, I think we have one more room for one more question from the audience. So please grab this amazing opportunity before it's gone. Okay.
All right, my name is Supal. Can call me Supal or Chris. I think I know Kesa.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Chris.
I'm from the Darasako,
Sorry, I didn't
from the
notice you
coastal city,
earlier.
no problem. Now, I'm just a little bit turned from the real estate, from the house development to the infrastructures and the connectivity, which you just mentioned, also important about the high-speed road to Siem Reap. When you want to go fast for the development in the real estate, you need to care also about the infrastructure and connectivity. So my question is, when will be the project start, the high-speed road? Is there anyone know clearly? And when it's going to finish? And how long going to take? Maybe I'm getting older. Who knows? And so just who knows that clearly and when start and when it's going to finish, which year? That's the first question. And another question is, do anyone know that we have a connectivity road from Siem Reap to Darasako via road number 10, which I just experienced with Mr. Douglas from the Daventam group? It's very amazing. I mean, amazing road, which is we can travel even faster from Darasako to here, spend only 7 hours, and take a break like 1 hour and a half. So instead of you go from Darasako, Kong City to Phnom Penh, something wrong with this. And then from Phnom Penh to Siem Reap, it take like 8 hours. And you can see the scenery along the road number 10. You got waterfall. You got many things to see along the road. So I wish if this can be a potential our tourist arrangement or local or foreigner travel to go this road through a kind of link road. You don't have to turn around. You don't have to turn back. Just go link road and take a flight back from Darasako or from Phnom Penh back to their country. That's all my question. I hope you get it.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you for the question and
yeah.
for sharing the update on Vil Veng National Road also. I think it's amazing to hear. I've heard about this completion, haven't used it myself, but it's great to hear. Honestly, I don't have the latest information of when the expressway between Phnom Penh to Siem Reap will complete yet. The last information that I have is the project have concluded the feasibility study. And I think as like other mega projects, there are a lot of coordinations and especially settlement, compensation settlement to be done because of the affected area. And hence, this is what have caused the delays, we understand. And hopefully it won't be too long because the period of construction itself will take about 2 to 3 years only. So I think by the next 5 years, or 3 to 5 years, we can expect to see the project come to life and will be put into use. But even before this expressway completed, the current accessibility is not that bad. I mean, we say that we spend 6 to 7 hours. It's just a bit longer travel time, but it's not bad compared to, let's say, 10 years ago. The road quality is very good, and Daventam and many other transport operator have been, offering a lot of different kind from, normal budget bus to all the way to first class bus, which is like first class flight. All of these traveling option is still available, and of course the flight directly to the new Siem Reap International Airport as well. And now with other infrastructure such as Vil Veng National Road is just connecting even more with other province, especially along the western part of the country as well. So I hope that answer your question very specifically. Thank you for sharing the insight about Vil Veng as well. Okay, so I have one last question.
Can I just quickly add? Sorry.
Please.
Just like the Sihanoukville to Phnom Penh superhighway is a very important infrastructure. Phnom Penh to Siem Reap, it's too important not to be built. So one way or the other, it's going to be built. The reason I say that it's Sihanoukville to Phnom Penh is all about freight, logistics, and reducing costs and time. Of course, tourism plays a part, but the Phnom Penh to Siem Reap will underpin the domestic tourism in Siem Reap, which I feel that will be one of the key pillar of Siem Reap growth moving forward in the next 3, 4 to 5 years. Imagine, like if we look back 5 years ago, the trip would have taken 6, 7 hours, 8 hours, $100 in fuel. Let's just say 2030, the trip could take 2.5 hours and maybe $10 in EV charging. That's a big change. And once upon a time, a day trip is not possible. but now a day trip is possible, a weekend trip is possible. Kim said there's 10 million cars that travel between Siem Reap and Phnom Penh. A lot of those cars are carrying goods, but at the same time, I know, speaking to a lot of Cambodians, that Siem Reap is very much in their heart. Angkor Wat is very much in their heart. If the opportunity arises where it only takes 2 hours and $10 in charge to come to Siem Reap, I think it's a big game changer. So I think it's too important not to happen. It will happen. It's a question of when it's going to be completed. Yeah.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. As you talk, I just remember my first trip to Siem Reap was when I was 1.5 years old. As I look through my old childhood photo, and my parents said we were living in Kandal province at the time. We have to take a car to Phnom Penh to spend the night in Phnom Penh and take the speedboat from Phnom Penh to Siem Reap. So it's a two days trip actually just to come to Siem Reap from Kandal. And I mean, look back, we have come a long way since then, and I can't wait to experience a 2-hour drive to Siem Reap, have coffee, visit the temple, and go back home probably at the same day if I just really want a quick visit to Siem Reap.
Rose Apple's already preparing for it. We have EV chargers already.
Amazing. Okay, so I have, just to close off, we have one last question. Maybe I hope you can spend 1 minute each for the 3 of the panelists about your outlook of Siem Reap. What would be the opportunity and for Siem Reap for the next 3 to 5 years? And what would be your advice to anyone who looking to invest or expand their business in Siem Reap? Starting from Mario, please.
Okay, thank you. So if we properly scan in what Siem Reap currently existed now and in the next 3 years, it's more about existed products, existed facility that need to be developed, it need to be improved, and a migration of the integration of what need to be developed in terms of the facilities. So Siem Reap already has a lot currently in terms of the inbounds, and what we need to input more is about the, let's say it's simple, like the of in terms of the products, the integrated products of what that need to be developed. It must be linked to the natures of Siem Reap that has to offer in a very unique sense of the cultures, of the histories, as the storytelling, as the hidden gem, that it need to be developed and whatever that need to be linked together in terms of the product. So in this term, it's not just about the housings, but of course the gap of the activities, entertainment, so on, about the facilities, and it into the adding values. We know that the most incentive of the governor supports of the supported policies also playing a very critical roles to given the values, the compensation to the foreign buyers or to the international markets. Of course, we've been doing a very good developing right now on the connectivity and the accessibility for the new airports, which is, I believe, it's holding up to 7 million passengers per year, and it's projected to about 40 million in a year by 2040, which is a very good and successful milestones. And is it about the investment? I would say Siem Reap found found ourselves when we actually challenge the pandemics. We seen a lot of opportunity, whether from the business or the resource that pop up from the only main sole industry, which is about hospitality. But currently, we've seen that it diversified into the other industry because we went through the pandemic. So having to go through the pandemic teach us that there are a lot of other potential industry that we can seek and we can develop right away in Siem Reap. Now we've seen that there are other industries more than just about hospitalities. It's about manufacturing. It's about tourism, agriculture. Also a mix of agro-tourism or agro-cultures, and also about tech. We've seen a lot of tech startup. We've seen a lot of the others like the mix of the products that combine together into the multi-industrial that Siem Reap has to offer. And if it comes for the investment, I would say Siem Reap is fortunately still expanding and expanding into the horizontals. So we look into the east areas of the investment before the infrastructures, before the other infrastructure that has to kick off. So it's a very right chance. And if we specifically have to state on the range of the investment, would be around $1 per square meter. Below of that, if it, I would say it's a very good chance. And there are a lot more development and going to be in horizontal. So it is one of the key and one of the clues to invest in Siem Reap, especially in real estate sectors.
Great, thank you.
Hello.
Please.
Yeah, my answer is going to be very short in relation to where we see opportunity, and we are taking action to make the most of the opportunity. Siem Reap has a very high potential or high ability to attract high-spending tourists. So hence, you would not see a $3,000 per night hotel in Phnom Penh, but you will see a $3,000 per night hotel or accommodation in Siem Reap. So hence, like we are able to attract high net worth tourists, we are also able to attract high net worth retiree. So our next project that we are building is catering for that market. So it ranges between 70 square meters up to 500 square meters in terms of the housing size. So for us, this is where we see opportunity in terms of development. But for investors who are investing as a retail investors, I think it's a great opportunity because things are slow, less competition, and there is a lot of upside, right? A lot of upside. You don't have to think too much about where Siem Reap is heading. You just need to know who is doing what developers are building, what brands is coming, and then just follow those people. You don't need to do your research. They've done their research already. If based on that, you know, there's a saying in investment, always follow the smart money, right? Lots of big brands, lots of branded residents are coming into Siem Reap. So this is a very, very good sign. So I'm very optimistic about Siem Reap, yeah.
Great. Kim Sia?
So I'm going to answer this question from someone who conduct market study most of my life, right? So I would say that in the next 3 to 5 years, from the developer side is my word, preparation. So now a proper study should be conducted, understand the demand, the influx of demand after the accessibility of infrastructure has been completed. Now, after you understand the demand, you can introduce or cater the development to accommodate those influx of demand. So back to the studies that you have to be well planned from what has to come, and that is I think from my perspective is a way to go, and a way that we should, especially from the developer and landlord side, should take into consideration or consider it more serious in the future. Yep.
Thank you, Kim Sia, Bongti, and Mario. I just have one small short comment to close off. I think for my short advice for anyone who looking into invest in whatever business, whether it's real estate or non-real estate business in Siem Reap, is to look at the long-term trend, because sometimes it's very easy to be kept in what you're seeing, month by month, quarter by quarter. But sometimes we have to zoom out and look what happened over, the last 10-year or cycle, and compare our local market, whether Siem Reap, Phnom Penh, and other provinces too. Certain regional cities that you can benchmark to. For example, throughout today, we have talked in relative term with some comparable cities such as Hoi An in Vietnam, Da Nang, Chiang Mai, and Phuket, and so on. So these trends that are happening in these cities would eventually also happen in Siem Reap with the right, conditions and activities coming in. So like Wongti said, observing, these key brands and key international business setting up, if they already come to Cambodia, to Siem Reap, that's a sign that they have a long-term vision for this market. So following them is not wrong. And I think now is a great time to start looking into your investment and business plan, because you don't want to invest when the market is already hyped up and price is already high. You want to enter when it's low, when it's still affordable. And in other words, is invest in Siem Reap before it's become expensive like Chiang Mai or Phuket or Hoi An. So that's a best opportunity right now. So with that, I'd like to conclude our discussion today. Thank you once again, our panelists, for your time and for sharing amazing insight with us. And thank you, the audience, for sharing or spending your Friday morning time with us, and some even traveling all the way from Phnom Penh. Thank you. We hope to see you again next year, and maybe we come back next 3 years and reassess whether the trends that we have predicted today will be correct. Thank you.